It's laundry day! Woo-hoo! That's right, today is laundry day and I am really excited to show you guys my Costway portable washer and dryer that I use here in my Transcend. Stick around. And be sure to stick around to the end for the blooper roll. Alright kids, jumping right in, we have the Costway. This is the washing machine. This side here is your wash and this here is a spin. The tub itself does not spin, so you have to take them out of here, put them in here and get them to spin out. Let me give you the specs on it really quick. This is 14 inches deep, 25 inches wide, and 28.5 inches tall. This is a water inlet here. If you are in a sticks and bricks house, condo, apartment, anything like that, you actually can use these. That's how I found them, was people reviewing these, using them in apartments or houses that don't have washer dryer hookup. And then you have a connection for your spin cycle. If you don't want to wash, drain, fill it back up again to rinse them, you can wash them, put them in the spinner. If you have a water hookup, you can hook that up, and then while it's spinning, it will rinse them as well. 3 controls. This is the wash time, goes from 3 to 15 minutes. I always use 15 minutes. I would say this is your mode button. Turn it over here to drain the tank. You have normal wash and a soft wash. I've not used soft wash, so I'm assuming this is kind of like permanent press. And then this guy here is your timer for the spinner. Very simple to operate. There is the wash tub. Water goes all the way up to here, so you can get quite a bit in there. We're going to actually do a couple loads today, so you'll be able to see exactly what I can get in there. Now the spinner side, you notice, is considerably smaller than the wash. Here's the Cliff Notes version on how you do this. Close in here, wash, drain it, fill it up again, rinse it, I guess I should say, drain it. Take the clothes out of here, put them into here, spin this for 5 minutes. They really are pretty dry when they come out of the spinner. And after that, they go into the dryer for about an hour or so, depending on how heavy and how wet they are. And that's it, we're done. It's simple. Couple more specs on this. It does say that it's 29 pounds. I don't believe that. This is all plastic and it is really, really light. I store it in my shower in the camper. So every time I need to use the shower, I have to take it out, and it's very light. So I don't think it's 29 pounds. The wash capacity is 17.6 pounds, 11 pounds in the washer, and 6.6 pounds in the spinner. I have no idea what any of that means. I have never weighed my clothes. I just stuff them in the washer until you can't get any more and turn it on. And look at me being all rude. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is David, and I am a part-time solo RVer. Along with myself and my 2 fur babies, Ms. May and Mr. Rupert, we are learning the RV lifestyle one campground at a time. Taking a look at the Costway portable dryer, this is an electric dryer. It only uses 850 watts of electricity. On the front down here in the corner is your controls. You've got a button here, pushed all the way in is high and out is low heat. And then your dial for the various different times. I mean, it's a dryer. I mean, I think everybody knows how to use a dryer, right? There is the inside. That's your lint filter in the back. It also does have another filter right here. Looking at the specs on here, drying capacity 5.5 pounds. Again, I have never weighed my clothes that I put in the dryer. Runs on 120 volts, 850 rated input watts, 37.5 pounds this weighs, and I am going to say that it is 37.5. It's all metal, so it's not heavy, but I do carry this because I run it outside. I have a table outside that I put it on because it is vented. You do have to have a vent for it if you're going to run it inside. I don't have a vent, so I just take it out. Right outside that window there, I've got a table and a plug, and away it goes. So yeah, it's a washer and a dryer, just a little teeny tiny one. So let's go ahead and start a load of laundry so you can see how much you can fit in the washer and the dryer. Now, this is where I normally store it in the shower. As you can see, there's plenty enough room for it. I take the shower head off and use the hose to fill up the washer. I did forget to mention that it has a dedicated drain here on the side, and that just lays down. It lays down when there's water in it and then just goes down into the shower gray tank. Since I'm hooked up to sewer, it's pretty easy. I just go out, pull the gray valve for the shower, and just let her rip right into the RV sewer system. As for power, I got myself an extension cord, plugs into the outlet in the bathroom. I loop it up this way because I don't want the power cord potentially laying in any water on the shower pan. Oh, a tip on detergent. Do not use a lot of detergent. Ask me how I know this. Yeah, there were bubbles everywhere for days. So far I've got 5 pairs of shorts, 5 shirts, some cleaning rags, socks, things like that. The heavier stuff I did find, like sweatshirts, jeans, you do have to tend to go a little bit lighter because they don't seem to agitate as much. The lighter stuff though, fill her up. You don't have to take your shower head off. I do. It just seems to do it faster because I have one of the Oxygenetics shower heads, so it just seems like it takes a long time. If you're at home, you would either use, like if you have a detachable shower head, or a bucket if you don't have a detachable shower head. Very little detergent. Okay, we are filled all the way up to the high mark. I do have a lot of stuff in here, so let's just turn around and see how it works. We got to close the lid. You do have to make sure that your drain hose is attached to the side. It will kind of leak out a little bit if you leave it on the ground. I'm on normal mode and I'm going to turn it for 15 minutes. So now we'll just wait 15 minutes for it to get done. It doesn't have a bell or a buzzer or anything like that. So I just normally set a timer on my phone for 15 minutes. And then we'll drain it, fill it back up again, run it through a rinse cycle, and then onto the spinner. Our 15 minutes is up. We are down to the 0. And let's take a look. Oh, look at that water is kind of nasty. So I'd say it did a pretty good job of washing it. So let's go ahead and drain it and then refill for a rinse cycle. All right, we got our drain hose down there. Now we're just going to turn this guy to drain. This does not have an electrical pump to pump the water out. It's only gravity. So if you are at home, you know, most houses have the thing on the wall there that you hook the drain into. That will not work for this setup. Let's turn it to drain. The bottom of this is up off of the ground, so you don't have to worry about getting anything wet down here. Now that we are drained from the wash tub, I'm going to go ahead and refill it, run it through a rinse cycle. But we need to turn this back to normal so it doesn't drain, and put this guy right there. I normally just close that so it'll hold it. I think you can see the water going in there. Now we just have to wait for that to fill back up, and then we will run it through a 15-minute rinse cycle. I can't wait for the spin cycle. That's the best. We are filled back up. Close the lid. We're on normal. Gonna go for another 15 minutes. Our 15-minute rinse cycle is up, so now we gotta drain and then spin them out. Same thing as before, drain tube down here and turn our knob to drain. Now that we're drained, now we got to take them out of here and put them into here. You are going to have to do this in a couple batches. Everything that's in here is not going to fit in there. I think of this as like the days gone by where you used to have to, well, I never had to, but where people would have to wash and then they had those little rollers on top of the washing machine. This makes me think of that. This we will need in a minute. Let's get some things in here. So all you do is just take everything from here, and when that gets full, that's where this guy comes in. You have to put this on top of it. I guess it helps balance the spinner out. I don't know. Close both doors and then spin for 5 minutes. Your drain has to stay in the drain position, and that has to stay on the floor. And it's actually really not that loud. Once it gets going, it quiets down fairly well. Spin cycle is done. Now we're gonna take these guys out. Take you out. Set that there. And honestly, I mean, these are damp. You could, if you didn't have the dryer, you could easily just hang these things up and they'd be dry in probably an hour or so. Yeah. This does a really good job at extracting the water. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, take these out, put those in, and then start another load, and then I'll see you out at the dryer. All right, we are outside now at the dryer. I got all the clothes spun down. I'm gonna go ahead and throw them in, throw in my dryer sheet, and then I'll go over the controls with you in just a second. So as I said before, if this button is all the way in, that is high heat, and if it's out, it's low heat. I always use high heat. So there we go. And then we're going to turn the dial down to the 200. That's, I'm assuming, minutes. Another option that you have over here in this green is for air drying, so no heat at all. I've never used it. High heat for me all the way. So normally what I'll do is set a timer for about 30 minutes and then I'll check everything. The stuff that's in there, as you saw through the spinner, are not very wet. So I'll check it in 30 minutes and then we'll go from there. Right now, I gotta start load 2 in the washer. I did forget to show you guys this. This little thing right here is a lint filter. As you can see, it does a pretty good job of catching lint. So I'm gonna clean that out and pop that back in there. It has been about 45 minutes. Let's go check the clothes in the dryer and see if they are just about dry. Those feel nice and dry. Okay, so everything was pretty much dry. There is one towel in there that was just a little bit damp. So I put that back in while we get the second load, and I'll get that thrown in there. All right, now let's talk about some pros and cons and some reasons why you may want to have this portable washer and dryer in your camper, RV, or even in your sticks and bricks if you do not have a washer and dryer. They're very easy to operate. Price wasn't too bad on them either. And by the way, I will leave a link down in the description below. They are not sponsored and I don't have any affiliation with them. I'll just put the links down there in case you do want to check them out. They'll be easy for you to find. Convenience. It is super easy to come home when I'm on work assignment, throw a load of clothes in the washer, take the dogs for a walk, whatever, make dinner, come back, throw them in the dryer, and they're pretty lightweight. Although the dryer, I would say, if you have any problems lifting anything above 40 pounds, it might give you a little bit of a hard time, but I find them very easy to move around. Definitely a conversation starter. I guarantee you that when your neighbors see this sitting out in front of your camper, they're gonna come over and start talking to you and ask you what this is all about. One of the reasons why I do have these is right here. Miss May and Mr. Rupert. They've got a lot of hair on them and it seems to get on everything. I do realize that not everybody likes dogs. I don't know who those people are, but not everybody likes dogs. And of course, there's dog allergies. I don't want to put all of my clothes in a public washer and dryer and then have somebody come behind and it be filled with dog hair. That's just not cool. Now let's look at some of the downsides. You are not getting a comforter or big items in this. You might be able to get something in here, but basically, if it doesn't fit in here, you aren't getting it in there. Having to carry the washer in and out of the bathroom every time I need to use the shower is a little bit of a pain, but it is doable. The dryer I keep over here on this side of the bed. Since it's just me, that side I really don't use, so it's a perfect place to keep it. You do want to be hooked up to an RV sewer system when you are using this. Although I have used it at campgrounds that don't have sewer connections, I just had to use my portable RV waste tote to empty the gray tank afterwards. You will find yourself doing laundry more often. Since it doesn't have such a large load capacity, I do mine maybe once every other day. And you are still going to have to worry about a laundromat. Trying to get this comforter into that is not going to happen. So you will either still need to use your washer and dryer at home or find a laundromat. Same thing if you are using this in a house or apartment or condo that doesn't have a washer and dryer. Your bigger items, you're still going to need to find a laundromat for. So would I do it again if given the opportunity? Absolutely. I do like the convenience of being able to throw a load of clothes in the washer while I'm working, or when I'm on work assignment, I can just come back to the camper, throw some clothes in, get dinner going, all of that good stuff. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and boop that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss any of our RV travels and adventures. And until the next video, safe travels. I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, I will leave a link down in this. Just put them where they need to go. Nope, that sucks. I never weighed how many. I will leave a link in the description below to. I'll just put the links down there. So if you do want to subscribe.